Water. Water suppliers say that they are ready to spend £10 billion on tackling sewage spills, but it's going to come from your pocket. Yes, that's right. These privately owned companies have apologised for not acting quickly enough, despite the fact that they've given their shareholders plenty of cash to tackle sewage spills, as they're facing mounting public anger over continued disposal of raw sewage into the rivers and seas. Last year, raw sewage was dumped into rivers about 825 times on a day on average. That's ridiculous. So joining me now is civil engineer and chartered water environment manager Simon Crowther. Simon, they've got a nerve, haven't they?
It's a really interesting point that I think actually the government will be breathing a sigh of relief, because water companies have come out and said, we're sorry. And there's been a lot of pressure on the government to act. And actually, if we look at regulatory failure, there's been a lot of regulatory failure here. The government have really defunded the regulation, which has allowed water companies to effectively do as they please and channel the money off to the shareholders. Again, it's very easy to sort of look at shareholders as though, you know, they're all internationals taking the money, but some of them might be pensioners as well. So there's been this sort of drive to fund the shareholders. The money's obviously gone, and now we need to invest in the system. We've got a really ageing system, a Victorian system, particularly in London, where both the foul water, so the water from your toilet, and the water from the rain all goes into one. Every time it rains, we can't cope with that, so it gets dumped into the rivers. And that's the same across the country. We've got a really ageing infrastructure.
But weren't they given their licences with conditions as to what they must do? And the whole thing about dropping sewage was supposed to be only occasionally.
Yeah.
And they have taken the proverbial, frankly. So now and the government haven't fined them enough. They haven't been hard enough on them. Ofwat, I think it is, have been pretty slack. Yeah,
Ofwat's and the Environment Agency, but that's because the regulator's been so defunded, which is, I think, why the government now will be so relieved that actually it's eyes on the water companies and eyes on where's that money been going, not eyes on what's the regulatory failure been. So I think it's always the story behind the headline as well. We've got to dig a bit deeper. Yes, it's good that the water companies are acknowledging the issue, but it's not good that we're going to effectively have to pay for it again. And it's not good that this has even happened, and it's taken public pressure to get to this point.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I don't see why we're paying for it. They should be getting it off their shareholders. They make enough profit. Our bills are going to go up. Surprise, surprise. Simon, thank you very much. Lovely to talk to you. That is Simon Crowther. Oh, God, more bills, of course. Everything seems